Welcome to another episode of Quiet Please, the golf podcast. I am Alan DePew, your host for the next 45 minutes or so, and I am joined as always by our panel of esteemed golf knowledgeable individuals. To my left, Mr. Little Linksters, and I got some special news for everybody out there about him in a minute. I want to give him the special props, but Brendan Elliott, welcome.
I got to ask our guest about some of that stuff.
Well, we're going to. I do have a couple of show notes and on the back of a napkin, but hey, we're going to talk with you in a second. Boston Bob Baldessari, also hailing from the Bourbon Country now.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And noted golf columnist and knowledge of all things golf, Jeff Babineau, on the panel once again. Hello, sir.
Hello, gentlemen.
Babs is in the house, and timing is impeccable because our Brendan Elliott just got his credential for the tour. Congrats, sir.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how all this works. I just thought I'd put in because I was going to the PNC, and one of the outlets I write for wasn't in their database when I was trying to get in there, and the lady from PGA headquarters emailed me back. She goes, typically this isn't how it works, but I'll approve you for Sportskeeda, which is based out of India, but they're pretty big. They get pretty big following. So yeah, I put in for the PNC, so I'll see what happens. I know Jeff knows all about this stuff, but this is all new to me. So
I like it, man. You're writing more than Edgar Allan Poe over there. See that byline, man. I'm glad for you. Happy.
Thank you.
That is true. I see article after article online. You're pen to paper all the time right now.
My buddy Jay Coffin, who Bab knows, he texted me the other day and said, "You're writing a lot." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying it a lot, and I've been learning a lot too."
Good stuff. Share that knowledge.
And he has a wealth of it, indeed.
Yeah.
So, hey guys, anybody playing this week?
No.
There's golf. Yeah, there's golf this week. Well, there's golf, and then there's Tiger golf, and so Tiger golf is back. So now there's golf.
There's golf. Yes. All right. So let's go right there, Jeff. We're gonna start it with you.
Tiger. You want to know the return of Will Zalatoris?
Well, You know what? I have that on the list also.
All right.
Yeah.
I did put that on. That Will Zalatoris is back using a broomstick this week.
He's back, and that Tiger guy's back. And Tiger did his presser yesterday, I guess. And I've been there for a few editions of the Tiger comeback in the Bahamas, and not there this year. But he sounded very optimistic. I mean, if Tiger is able to walk a golf course, which was a huge hindrance, not being able to do that, now he's saying he's feeling no pain. When it comes down to, swinging a golf club and hitting golf shots, he's pretty good in that area. So, I've gone hook, line, and sinker before, but I mean, I liked his optimism. And, when he talked about playing maybe one tournament a month, probably maybe a little less, but that's quite a pace. I mean, I think the average golf fan would love to see that.
Yeah, and I thought the same thing. And I was thinking back to what Andy said last show about he's kind of over it. He's still a fan, but he's kind of over it with all these start and stops and comebacks. And what Jeff said was what I took from his press conference was that he sounded more optimistic than he has in the past. So again, Father Time's catching up with him too, but he is Tiger Woods, so you can't put anything past him, I guess.
Bobby,
he usually wouldn't play in front of a major, but he's playing in front of the father-son, so
yeah,
it's risky.
Yeah, from everything I saw and heard, and even looking at his body language, it looks like he's confident he's back. It'll be interesting, I'm sure. Round one, it'll probably go something like round one, a little bit rusty, but he plays pretty decent. Probably plays pretty well in round 2, 3. The weather looks to be nice, low 80s, not much wind or any winds, crosswind, small greens, but still you got to believe he plays well. I'd be interested in that last round, how he can physically feel. But I mean, I'm taking Alan's advice. I'm betting him to finish in top 20.
I like it.
That's
Big
better.
limb.
That's better than my bet line last night.
I mean,
My parlay.
the best case scenario might be he can be maybe around the top 5-ish, 7, 8, super respectable. I'm wondering, well, yeah, it was exciting with Zalatoris he's got a lab putter. Bill Pressey, way to go, Bill. Bill's going to be joining us, I think, one of these shows coming up soon. But that was exciting to see more of his lab putter, the Mez out there. And I'm kind of wondering, thinking Keegan Bradley has a really good tournament. I think he's probably wicked pissed about still maybe the Ryder Cup. I think he plays well.
I think Tiger's obviously the eternal optimist. I mean, he is the king of self-talk. Always getting a little better. How I'm hitting it good out there. He's always positive. Got his own positive energy about it. But the guys are all talking about it. I love the one quote from Scotty. He's like, I love when you turn around and you look down the range and he's on the range, and it's just a different sound coming off the club face. And I'm excited for, what is this, Tiger 5.0?
5, 6.
Yeah. I think there's two versions of Tiger we've seen in the comeback mode, right? The wounded guy that hobbles around and his back hurts. And then there's the guy that has speed. And the guy that has speed, I think, makes everyone on the range stop and look over and see what that guy has, because he's just a different guy with that. And who knows? I always knew he would come back and win a major. I always maintained that he was too stubborn not to. And now I think he's really driven by something in the back of his mind that says, I might play the PGA Tour with my kid one of these days, and I might hang around for that. So who knows what motivates him, but something keeps that fire lit, and he's a dangerous guy when the fire's lit.
I would have been impressed to see, you talk about speed. Unfortunately, turning right, he doesn't have. He had a little too much speed on that turn. What it would have been after LA, after that comeback, because I thought he was on a trajectory then, before this latest, obviously, physical dilemma he found himself in with the car injury and everything that's come out of that. I mean, hell, just saving his life was the first and most important part of it, after the accident, and saving the leg. But I mean, God, that swing looks really good, Brendan.
Well, I did an article for PGA.com yesterday. I posted about what the average golfer can take from him, and the injuries we all tend to deal with as we get older. Tiger's the first that'll tell you in the past he maybe had sped up the process a little too quick and got out there a little too fast, or you have to, what he's done really well, especially before this latest surgery, is he recreated a swing that would work with what his body was giving him. And people can take from that, a lot of us, as we get older and our bodies don't move, let alone injury, but our bodies don't move the way they did when we were younger. We try to keep doing things the same way that we did when we were younger, and that recipe doesn't work. So, if one of the best of all time recreates his swing, and he plays for a living too, so it really matters. We can take something from that, where we can recreate our swing or our approach. If there's nothing physically that we're really dealing with, just the way we go about playing the game.
Hey, Babs, that was, as usual, Jeff Babineau with the keen insight about Tiger, thinking about playing with Charlie. Like, I never even thought of that. I did think about Tiger's tied with Sam Snead for 82 wins all time. And I wondered if that was more, but that's fascinating about the Charlie thing. But yeah, I wondered, like, what's his driving force? He's one of those guys like a Tom Brady or whoever. You get something in him and it just, the burning desire goes crazy. And then I wondered, does he want to stay out there to beat Kathy Whitworth's all-time professional record?
He wants Jack was the one he circled, right? That's the one he hunted. I don't know that the PGA Tour all-time record. I'm sure it'd be nice. I think Brandel Chambly was making the point that Snead has a handful of team events that he won. It's like crediting a track guy winning a relay, which is somewhat true. But Tiger's 82 are individual, and that's a record. But I always thought he was driven by Jack, and that was the mark that really moved him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Bobby, did you see he's got a new driver in the bag? He's got that new TaylorMade Q1 prototype he's got in the bag this week.
Yeah, I don't know much about it, just that he was putting a new driver in there. You have that same driver?
I no.
He's light $4.99 if he did.
Tiger picked it up in a special at PGA
Yeah.
Picked it up from a Dixon PGA golf professional that was fitting him in the netting.
Now,
So
I wanted to mention a Babs because I know you made a comment too, and I've only met Steve a couple of times, but Steve DiMaglio, the writer, and he's had a lot of health issues, and we wish him the absolute best. And he was always really nice and kind. I would shake his hand and say hi at the PGA Championship or things I was at with the PGA, and I know you're a good friend of his, and that was neat to see him back out there.
Yeah, it was a really good. Tiger had they had a great picture of Tiger's reaction when he saw him. Went up to him after the presser, and it's great to see him back there. Yeah, I heard his voice in the presser, and I was like, it sounded like Steve DiMaglio, and it's good to hear. So good for him. Hope he gets a lot of sunshine this week and enjoys some good Bahamas fresh air.
Yeah.
Hey Jeff, have you heard anything or any more scuttlebutt about in his presser? Now he's been put on the policy board, and everybody's making a big deal out of those 3 words: "Can't happen again," in reference to the Saudi deal. So, what are you hearing about that?
I mean, look, he wants to he's made his mark on the game as a player. Now he can still influence the game, as an administrator on the policy board, as a player rep. What it did was it tilted the scales toward the players, and the players felt blindsided by the June announcement about the relationship coming up with PIF and the deal supposed to be done by the end of December, which I don't know that that's going to happen. To probably extend it, but it just gives them a chance and gives all the players a chance to have a say where they're not going to be blindsided on anything. Again, they're going to be in the room and hear things through. I'm convinced what happened on June 6th would not have happened with players in the room. So I kind of saw it both ways. But yeah, it's interesting that he's adamant about that. And a lot of players got their feelings hurt by they don't like surprises. So they won't see a lot of those coming up.
And is there anything you could kind of off of that? Is there anything you can read into the fact that Rory stepped down from the policy board? Is that just to focus on the game again, or?
Yeah, I think it's a lot. I mean, I've seen the guys on the policy board. Spieth went on in Rory's place, and I've seen guys go up there with a couple bags of balls to start hitting balls on the range, and everybody approaches them. And it's a turnstile out there of guys with issues. The 125 guy doesn't have the same concerns that the number 10 guy does, and playing opportunities, and you're supposed to represent everybody. So it's busy, and Rory's a busy guy, and it probably is good that he lends a little more focus to his golf, because his golf's awfully good, but there's a finite window in there to get all those majors starting to collect those again. So it totally makes sense to me.
I'm curious, Jeff, if you would have any knowledge of how the players felt before this all went down this summer on where they stood as far as decision making, and was this something that really is it seems in the media that it really caught them off guard?
Yeah, I mean, this was done in a small room with a handful of guys, and it totally caught him off guard. I mean, and that's going to hurt some feelings. I mean, Tiger, the sweat equity they've put into this PGA Tour, they don't need to be surprised by anything. It quote unquote is their tour, Now with the way the board is set up, it assures that it's their tour. And it's, who knows? Like, I think he nails it when he says there are so many moving parts of this thing. I think one big angle of this is what's going to happen to all the charity dollars.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of pie left over when you start playing for 20 million bucks a week. So it's an interesting ground they're all treading across right now, and there's a lot to sort out, and I don't see it happening in 30 or so days.
No.
No.
And that was something the tour really hung their hat on, is how much they do, more charitable dollars than any of the other major sports put together. So that's something to really be considered moving forward.
Oh, by far, man, by far the best charity dollars, best retirement program. I don't know if that's impacted. This whole new venture that the tour is kind of breaking off with, the new business model is a for-profit model. Tournaments are going to be structured differently. There's just so many things going on. And I like that Tiger came back to the fact that there's an essence of the tour that you're trying to preserve. But you do lose some of that when you're out there playing for $20 million every week. I mean, the average Joe isn't in touch with that. So it's just kind of some strange ground they're going on to, and there's a lot of big decisions to be made.
Bobby?
About what? It's hard to follow Jeff Babineau because it's just like I just get mesmerized by his words. But yeah, I mean, it's a new day. I don't know. I still, I was telling somebody the other day, being in my dad's golf shop at Hillview Country Club the year, it was either Tom Kite or Curtis Strange was hitting $1 million, and even, some of those marks along the way in my life that members at the club were just like, my God, the guy won 50,000 to win a tournament. He won 100,000. How can you win $1 million? And it's just, they keep breaking new ground. But it is one thing I did see in today that was in the news that is good to see, and I've tried to do as much as I can for women in golf in my career, but worldwide it'll be over $1 billion of revenue as far as women sports this year in 2024 between media rights, gate, on and on. So maybe the playing field is starting to pick up for the ladies for sure.
Well, it's interesting, as you guys know, Jeff, I actually literally just got back from Michigan, the Michigan Golf Course Owners Conference. I was speaking out there, and one of the slides that NGF put out, we talked about it last week about the three buckets: off course, hybrid, and then on course only. But the percentage of golfers now that are women golfers in the off course, particularly, it's like 41%.
Yeah.
I mean, I think on green grass is up to 28%. So, it is tremendous to see the rise in female participation.
There was always an area that go ahead, Babs.
Well, it's an amazing number that kind of quietly came out during the CME Globe, or during the Tour Championship, CME group. I think in 2 years, the number is like $60 million. Purses have gone up on the LPGA. And now there are 15 or 16 of $3 million or more. I mean, that's awesome, because it wasn't that long ago you could play an LPGA schedule with a card and lose money for the year.
Yeah.
And that just shouldn't be. I mean, these are the best players in the world. They put on a show every week. How many weeks are you there for 5-6 days, miss a cut and go home, with nothing? So just to see that increase, I mean, I think it was a really newsy item that didn't get the attention it probably should have.
And I hate to say it, but they're more engaging than their male counterparts. I mean, the little kids that are standing there, I was down to Seaview, and I'm watching the Lydia Ko coming off the 18th green. She does her presser, and she stood there and signed every kid's. And I know there's other guys. I know there's Rickies of the world, but it seems like as a greater percentage, the LPGA girls are just very engaging with the fans and appreciative of their support.
Yeah,
go ahead, Bob.
I was going to say, from a green grass standpoint, the business of the game, the business of golf, if anybody's paying attention, to focus on women to get into the game, that's where you're really going to grow your business. The women control 98% of your schedule, of the household schedule, over 90% of household spend. If the ladies come in, they bring the kids, they bring the husbands. That's a central point of what I've tried to do at my facilities. Is, yeah, there's always stuff for guys and youth, but special attention to women's golf, to newer ladies into the game, really engaging events. You want to grow your business, focus on women's golf.
Yeah, I had two thoughts, from the professional side, with the purses going up, that's fantastic. Not just on, the LPGA tour, but all the tours underneath. That's great because some of those girls really trying to work their way onto the LPGA tour that are the future of the LPGA tour. Those are the ones that really struggle and have to rely on, the local community to house them and other things because the expenses are crazy. But as we see the purses go up, we somehow, some way, they've got to, you know, get on TV more often and where people can see them and the majors that they have, the 5 majors they have to be elevated, not just from a financial standpoint for the players, but being broadcast and being put out there because it is for the average male or female golfer. Those are the swings that you want to watch. Those are the swings you want to emulate. And those are the players that you want to kind of mold your game around because let's face it, most of us can't do that with the men on the PGA tour. And then, I was thinking about last week on the recreational side about those 3 silos you were talking about, Alan. And I really I didn't have an opinion prior to our conversation about how we've kind of split everything up into these 3 different silos. I was always of the opinion that they were just kind of doing that to make the numbers look better and make us that work in the industry feel a little bit better.
I still believe that's the case.
But at the same time, people have golf clubs in their hand that may not step on a regular golf course. That's a good thing. I mean, it's going to sell golf clubs. It's going to sell all kinds of stuff, golf related. It's going to have them watching TV. And then we really didn't talk about there's a huge population out there that don't do the off course, that don't do the on course, but watch the PGA Tour or watch the Golf Channel. So that's a whole nother huge population that we got to, tap into.
So, and I'm really interested to hear Jeff's opinion on it. Also, to your point about the majors, I think the majors are a challenge, in my opinion, that because unlike like Augusta, Andy talks about venues all the time. There's not that venue that everybody,
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah, correct. With the dinosaur moving to the where anyway, but with the women getting onto Pebbles, Pinehurst,
right,
courses like that, is that going to give them the elevation and notoriety that will probably resonate more with the public?
I think so for sure. And what I love is, one thing I love about covering the Masters is how excited the players are to be there. So now when you flip that around with the women and you go to Pebble Beach or St. Andrews or some of these great venues that they go to, there's an excitement level there that they're now playing for history. This is where so much golf history has taken place. So the excitement around going to Pebble Beach this year was terrific. And I think all the majors have done a really nice job in bumping up the purse. Now that's helped bring up that next tier up, right? When we have 15 or 16 events now offering 3 million plus in purse, that's great because the majors they've elevated theirs so much that there has to be a boost there to kind of stay in the neighborhood. And that's great, right? It's the rising tide lifts all boats. So but to your point on venues, I think that's huge. I think it just means more. It means like they're excited because Pebble isn't just hosting the Women's Open; it's excited to have the Women's Open, and now it has maybe 3 more. I don't know that we're going to be around to see the last of the 3. I don't think I will, but way out into the future, and it's exciting. It's something where young girl now can point to, like, hey, I want to play in the Open at Pebble Beach in 10 or 12 years, and it's all little stuff that just adds up to the snowball growing.
I found the stats about as far as this year on the LPGA Tour. This year on the LPGA Tour, 3 ladies made over $3 million this year alone.
That's awesome.
From 2000 to 2022, for 22 years, 4 players made over $3 million.
Wow.
So in 22 years, 4 players, $3 million. This year alone, 3 players made over $3 million. The other great stat is 28 golfers this year on the LPGA Tour made over $1 million. The 1 million, and that's doubled since 2019. I mean, just some really strong numbers as far as the purses have gone up, the players have played well, and it's whatever I keep seeing as far as the PGA LPGA Tour, the Champions Tour, the LPGA Legends Tour. We are hosting an LPGA Legends at the Woodford Club, and so the ladies are coming along with opportunities, money, but also if you start to look at it, the athletic ability and the athletes, that the Dustin Johnsons were coming in, and now you see the Nelly Porters, and it's just interesting. It's starting to shorten a little bit, I think. I mean, Babs is out there, he would know, but each sort of generation, and now this LPGA Legends, basically the LPGA seniors, they're mobilizing under Jane Blaylock's leadership and many of the great ladies that now they're trying to get to where that Champions Tour will be in a few years.
So BE.
I do have one more point, Alan, before you transition. I'm thinking about this Annika being an Augusta member and the clout that she already has with the great things she's doing for women's amateur golf. I wonder, and I think she said this, Jeff could correct me if I'm wrong. I think she said this, that her dream is to one day see a women's major at Augusta National. I think I read that somewhere.
I'm going to edit you on that.
Go ahead.
Billie Jean King said she wants to see it. Okay. And Annika had just basically been announced as a member. I don't think she wasn't quite ready to speak to that. I'm sure she would love to see a women's major there, but it actually was Billie Jean King.
There you go. Thanks for the edit.
BE, can I further edit or correct?
Sure.
Is it, Brennan? I thought she said when you were talking to her recently that she was going to get the 4 of us and we're going to take us as guests to play it. Is there any truth to that?
Well, one of us in this Brady Bunch foursome here.
Looks like Brendan.
No, I think that's
long.
I don't think we talked about that yet, but that's such a cool thing to see her get that feather in her cap and be offered membership at Augusta National. She does a lot for the game. A lot. I mean, she's super involved in women's golf, so good for her.
So great venues hold great competitions. Watch what I'm going to do, BE. And one of those competitions is the Ryder Cup, and that's in the news today. In fact, Luke Donald is back. He kicked our ass hard enough this time to bring him back to kick our ass again at Bethpage. Does that set up a Luke Donald versus Tiger? Does it set up and then I want to pose a question. So while you're thinking about that, about who's going to captain, where would you like to see the Ryder Cup? If you could have a Ryder Cup on European soil as well as on American soil, where would you want to have a Ryder Cup? I'm going to let Jeff go first.
Oh, wow. Well, your first question, I wasn't surprised to see Luke Donald take it on. He did such a great job, but he's 5-0, I believe, as a player and captain now in the Ryder Cup, and he goes into the gauntlet now trying to be a Ryder. He's kind of a quiet, mellow guy. He lit a nice fire under that team this year, but in Italy. But he goes into the fire now at Bethpage Black, and that's a hard one. I mean, he has this pristine record in the Ryder Cup, and you put that all on the line now. I mean, that's when Azinger, when they used to talk about Azinger should be the guy again after 2008. I'm like, how does it end any better than that for you? You won on home soil. You had all these Kentucky guys. You had fresh blood. and you won, and that's the greatest feeling you can have in the Ryder Cup. So why do you put that back on the line? But I think with all those captains kind of out of the mix on the European side that have gone to live, they kind of need a couple guys to step in and fill a role like that. And I mean, Luke Donald's the perfect gentleman to do it, but it's going to be a tall task.
We talked. I think it was Andy that made the comment. We don't want to see the New York fans be the New York fans. Unfortunately, that I think we're going to still see that though at Bethpage. Brendan, what do you think?
To the question of venues,
Luke's captaincies first. Yeah, then we'll get to venues.
Oh, I echo what Jeff said. He was fantastic, and I think there's been guys that have captained multiple times, and he's just perfect in that role. But again, he may get steamrolled at Bethpage. I see the Americans are going to be very, very hungry. They're going to learn from lessons, and I think we're going to have this back and forth every other year of a win by the Europeans in Europe and a win by the Americans in the US. But to your second question, I think that's what's going to really be the driver. And the US, with all the strategic things and the meetings I have with the PGA of America, I'm trying to find the right formula for the team and pairings and this and that. I think sticking to venue might be what really ultimately helps the Americans going forward.
Bobby, as someone that used to be close to the Ryder Cup and all the little idiosyncrasies,
I'm not sure how much I can deny or confirm that I know, even to this day. I'm really fascinated to get your feedback on my thought process. I guess especially Babs, really. But so, yeah, that was a great question. Where would you hold the Ryder Cup in Europe and over here? I don't know about Europe. There's so many great spots. Over here, I'm going to reuse something that I used when I was president of the Mid-Atlantic PGA, and we had all these great courses in the Mid-Atlantic, as you know. Yep. And I was president. I remember being in a board meeting one year, and I said, why don't we take our section championship in, say, 5 years somewhere out there to, just a public course, just something that's downtrodden, just something that could use a spur. Like in the shadow of the Washington Monument, there's a public facility, which the name's escaping me right now.
Langston.
And has an amazing amount of history. That was where I used it as an example. I said, wouldn't it be really cool if just one time, we took the section championship, something like that. It can go to Congressional, it can go to all the fancy places. We could take it to a miniature golf place. Whoever is playing well is going to win. So, that was in my mind. Like when you said that, I thought,
I guarantee that got pushed back because of the whole Augusta complex. We only play on the most pristine properties and what have you.
Well, I don't want to hijack this, but it's stupid. It's absolutely stupid because now you can mobilize with the golf course superintendents and different associations, and really everybody could get together and watch out, maybe grow the game. Oh my God, if you did this the right way, just one time, just have some fun and do it like that and not go to the fancy places. So my place for having the Ryder Cup would be Clearview in Canton with Renee Powell.
Yeah.
Like, why not host it there and help that place? Like, think so crazily out of the box. I mean, it'll never happen, but it's going to be fun at Bethpage. I think, I read something recently that, do you really need a PGA Tour player to be a captain? Do they really know what it's about coaching a team? Should you get a Mike Krzyzewski? Should you get a Jim Montgomery for the Boston Bruins, best record in 100 games in NHL history? Do you just get a coach that really understands dynamics? That was a fascinating article. If Tiger goes in there, is Tiger going to be Tiger and he almost intimidates his own team? I think it's a different dynamic these years than it was years ago. But I think everything's on the table. Some of the dynamics inside the PGA America, some things aren't going to change because they're not going to change. It's going to be frustrating as hell. So it's going to be fascinating.
Babs, opinion?
Well, so I'm looking this up as we're talking. So the future Ryder Cup venues are Adair Manor, of course, Bethpage Black in 25. We're going to Hazeltine.
Yep.
So, which I don't think I've ever seen more people on the golf course than the 2016 Ryder Cup. It just looked like a sea of people. The Olympic Club, which is interesting. That's not a bomber's paradise for sure. But I do, yeah, I'd like to see. I think you have to check a lot of boxes now to host a Ryder Cup, right? You got to have
Oh,
a lot of cash, and you got to have a venue where, like Hazeltine, big property, where you can do so much else there. Um, you know, I think going to the K Club, I went there in '06, and it's an Arnold Palmer design. It's a fine golf course. It's owned by a rich guy. But how many better courses were there in Ireland to be that week and stage a Ryder Cup? So, I enjoy where it goes. I think you can play in the parking lot. It'll be entertaining. But to get it at the greatest venues, and the Walker Cup is doing that, but they
Yep.
don't have to have the infrastructure of a Ryder Cup. So, yeah, I'm all for the marquee venues.
So my two, and I agree actually, Bob, with what you were suggesting, which is to have the average golf course. But if I could pick the two class high end golf courses, I'd like to see Old Head in Ireland. I think that would just be spectacular.
I was going to say that, but you can only get 12 fans out there.
Well, they may fall off the cliffs. That's true. Or and maybe only 12 fans at my next one, which is Fisher's Island, or some just really cool venue that just showcases the beauty of also the game.
Thanks, Joyce.
You don't work in accounting at PGA of America.
Yeah.
The Walker Cup's done that, right? Walker Cup, we're going to Seminole. It's going to Cypress Point, St. Andrews. It's just hard to do with all the demands of what you have to build a small city.
Yeah.
Yeah. The infrastructure is crazy. Yeah.
Bob, I'm sure you could tell us more, but it's probably 4, 5, 6 year process or more once a venue's picked, right?
Oh, at least, yeah. It's Bill send the tournament director out there, 5, 6, 7 years in advance to get embedded and start the whole process. It's such a, as Bab said, you build a city, and that's a tricky part when you go course to course around the country versus Augusta does their own thing all the time. But there's tens of millions of dollars on the infrastructure built, and there are unbelievably great courses in this country that deserve to host these amazing events. They got no shot because they just don't have the space.
Hey Jeff, were you at Kiowa when Phil won?
Yes.
I mean, from what I was told, because I played it, would have been in 22, right? He won in 21, I guess. So I played it in 22, and the caddy, we were talking about how that bussing people in.
Oh God.
It's not easy to get people around that island.
No, I think there was a second road supposed to be coming in by then that wasn't built. We didn't stay on the island, so we'd be an hour and 45 minutes on the bus. So it was tough to get people in and out. He had some. I'm trying to think when Rory won at Kiowa, they had a little bit of rain, so people were getting stuck in parking lots and
Was there that
place, but it's just hard to get people there.
That was a year I had to do a TV interview on site at 6 a.m. We left the hotel at 3:30 a.m. with Tammy Beauclair.
Rowing? Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
But I think I went to Kiowa for the final round with my dad. And despite the transportation parking thing, it's a little clunky. I think this last one, they really did a good job. And it's just fascinating to me how they put the merchandising together and all the hospitality stuff together. And then not to mention the golf course and even the range, how the range was set up was pretty cool.
It was a neat place. And we had plenty of drama with Phil winning. So, cool spot, good golf course.
So Bob, call your connections. We would like to help select the next future Ryder Cup locations.
I'll get on it right now.
Can you make that happen for us?
Yeah, I'll start the text right now.
Yeah, I think the next opening is about 1945, 2045 or something.
Yeah.
We'll be picking out the Champions Tour Ryder Cup version for that at that point. All right, guys. Anyway, 19th hole. Mr. Elliott.
Well, before we get there, do you have the hot seat questions by chance? I know Andy usually does
No,
it.
I don't.
So
I do.
Jeff's off the hook.
Hey, I have them.
Oh, you do?
Ooh.
I
Do you
live
wanna
on the
look-
hot seat. I can't.
Yeah, he's been on the hot seat, hasn't he?
I don't know. I
don't
have the
think so.
questions if you want them.
Well, fire a few
Yeah,
at him.
let's do that.
I don't think quick on my feet. Yeah, give me
Well,
time to Google.
We'll keep it generic. We'll keep it to 9 holes. Kind of a quickie. And you guys can help too. But I think Andy's one was what's the lowest round of golf you've ever shot?
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
I shot here you go. I shot 58 at par 60 Paul Harney golf course.
Yes.
You
Oh,
and
that's
I
a great
played
one.
in Hatchville, Mass. So
Yeah, that's a great one.
I shot 58, nothing to it.
Piece of cake.
Favorite course you ever played?
Ooh. Probably Augusta. Just the feeling the, but for one that people can play, Kings Barnes maybe. Beautiful.
Yeah. What was another one is what 3 courses have you not played that you would love to play?
Probably Fisher's Island, Cypress Point, and I don't know what the other one would be. Probably something on Long Island I haven't been to.
Bobby?
Trying to think of the other questions.
Well, the other one was favorite golfer.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, right.
Golf, just to deal with or to watch.
Just your favorite all-time golfer.
I've had a lot of fun through the years watching the roller coaster that he can be is Ernie Els.
Ooh,
Oh.
Love the swing, love his honesty. Knew him when he was sleeping on the floor with caddies and hotels playing mini tours. So I don't know, it's been fun to watch his whole voyage.
Nice. Okay, what do you think who's your top 3 golfers of all time? Man, lady, anything?
Ooh, I would go Jack, Tiger, and Mickey Wright.
that was yours, Bobby.
That was mine.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought you would have had a Wemette slipped in there somewhere.
Could happen. Let's see. Do you think Bill Belichick will be coaching the Patriots?
No. I think one of us 4 would be a better coach right now and a far better GM.
The hoodie is maybe lost his touch.
Right.
Oh, I got one too.
Take a photo of you 3 hoodies. Yeah, shoot. I'm trying to think of the other ones. I have it written down in the other room.
Who wasn't one of them your dream foursome?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh boy. Dream foursome. I'll go my dad, Bobby Jones, and what other great history? We'll let Jack tee it up with us. Arnie. I'm sorry, Arnie.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Strong. That's a good one.
I can't remember any of the other ones.
Oh, I know the last one. How many hole-in-ones?
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
All right, so I have one with like an asterisk. So I always float this one out there. I do have a double eagle. I had it in Ireland. But my only and you'll laugh at this because you probably played it, is I got a hole in one at the Links at 434, which is it was a lighted par 3.
Awesome
On a
place.
sandwich, and it was like 110 yards. And I always say, yeah, I can't really count that. I don't really have a hole in one. And everyone's like, oh, you got to count that. It's had 18 holes. You got all, so I don't know. It's got an asterisk.
Count it.
I don't know.
Count
I
it.
count it.
I count it. Never had one, so
They
I
had
can
a
count.
plaque on the wall. Now it's like a skate park or something. So
Yep.
I'll never do it again.
You have survived Andy's butchered hot seat.
We
It's only a
butchered it.
warm seat today.
I returned to my question, Mr. Elliott, 19th hole. Final thoughts, sir.
So my final thought, I'm a diehard Tiger fan, and I have a little bit of what Andy said last week about here we go again. But I'm not gonna get my hopes up this time, but I'm still gonna be rooting for him pretty hard. And I'll be honest, I watch little golf. I do, I read up on it, I read stuff online, I check the leaderboards, but I watch little golf unless Tiger's on TV. So I'm excited about that. And then Jeff just put this crazy thought in my head about Tiger and Charlie playing on the in a PGA Tour event together. So that's my
He does
final.
that. He
Bobby?
does that. Yeah, I had a couple here. I read something this last week that it's hard to play golf at a level. It's amazingly hard to play tournament golf. Senior tour, regular PGA Tour golf is a whole nother level. It's just so hard. And this Australian pro, John Senden, for the last 18 months, he's been playing golf with symptoms of Parkinson's disease.
Oh.
I can't even fathom that he can play out there. So I just want to send good wishes. And I mean, it's just amazing to see somebody like that out there. I mean, it's just incredible, like how competitive, we all know how tough it is at the tour level. It's just incredible. And I mean, the other thing was this week here in Kentucky, the weather was getting into the 20s and 30, and it reminded me of the days playing golf at Hillview Country Club, or as Babs and Alan, the phrase "down the Cape," when the snow would be flying up in the northern parts of New England. And there's something special about just walking the course, taking a few clubs, playing in the cold weather, playing cross-country golf. That's always fun. So when the weather gets cold, it's still time to play golf.
You mean that picture of me with my toque on and
Yes.
walking through the woods? Yes.
Looked like you're on a hike, but yeah, sometimes people put the clubs away in the winter, but no, just take a few clubs, go walk 5 holes, whatever.
Temporary greens.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jeff?
All right, for the 19th hole. So I bring zero inside knowledge to this, but huge hot rumor right now that John Rahm might jump over to the Live Tour.
Yeah.
And that's a player I enjoy watching a whole lot. I just got to do the profile on him for next year's Masters Journal and really enjoyed talking to John, listening to, how much that guy loves the history of the game and everything about the game. And I hope it doesn't happen. I understand if it happens because the money is going to be monopoly money levels. It's going to be, owning 10 Park Places, and here's your family's, here's the pile that your grandkids won't spend. But I just hope it won't happen, because I just think it'll throw golf it'll just divide it more and build a bigger chasm, and it just caused more chaos and confusion. And kind of hoping, 24, we can get to less chaos and confusion, and all these guys can get in a room and figure something out.
Agreed.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
So mine, I'm going to actually finish with a trivia question. So first of all, as you know, like I said, I was out in Michigan. So on my slide deck was number of golf courses by state. Can you guys name the top 5 courses by state? Who has the most golf courses of any state?
Texas.
Well, Michigan's up there.
Florida's number 1. Texas is actually number 5.
California second.
California's number 2.
Where's Michigan?
Michigan in the hunt?
Yeah,
number
Michigan.
3. 860 golf courses.
Yeah,
Michigan.
they got a lot of golf.
1238 in Florida, 964 in California, 860 in Michigan, and you're missing number 4.
New York.
New York.
Yeah.
830. that crazy? Like of the top 10, half of them are in the northern lakes region. The Wisconsins, Ohio's, Michigan, New York.
It's a lot of the older courses that are holder honors, been around for 100+ years.
Little 9-hole munis.
Yep.
Yep. And I said this to an owner while I was there, that unlike in the South, you get a good day in the North, you appreciate that. You go,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because wait 10 minutes, the weather's going to change.
Yeah. Michigan's got some great golf.
Right? They really do. Really, really do. That's all I got. Anybody else? Anything?
Thanks again, Babs, for joining. Yeah.
Yeah. Good to join you guys. Here's my dream foursome.
There we go. At Augusta.
At Augusta.
Right.
Playing
They're all
Ponca
there.
Pog. Babs will play the old Ponca Pog.
Ponky.
Fuck.
Until next week, boys.